Okay, so episode what 2 and 3,
Yes, 2 and 3.
and you took notes.
Yes, absolutely. Because I kind of figured, it might be a little bit difficult. Like I might get things mixed up if I didn't. So, of course, episode 2, we opened with that strange, strange scientist fellow from the Enclave, and
Yeah,
doing a lot of doggy experiments.
well, yeah, and it's a pretty sizable enclave. Well, I guess literally it's a pretty sizable enclave as well. Like looked like a whole bunch of people there.
Yeah, I guess he kind of had to keep his experimentation or experimenting hidden.
Well, I think
Um,
what was hidden was the dog was underweight, and they were like terminating the
oh,
ones that were
yeah, because
imperfect.
they had the incinerator. They had the
Yeah, and he lied
incinerator.
about. I think his name was what 404 on the
Yeah, I
paper.
think so.
He lied
Hmm.
about his weight to keep it. So
And of course, a few minutes later, after all that was taking place, he tried to escape, and
oh,
he took the dog with him.
he
He had to deal
successfully
with one of
escaped.
the, yeah, well, yes, but he had to deal with that very annoying turret in the middle of it, and that was a very relatable experience. I, I'm not a very big fan of turrets either, of course.
Well, luckily it was just a machine gun turret, not the normal Enclave laser turrets.
Yeah, those laser turrets are definitely worse than the machine gun turrets. In fact, I don't remember if I found a machine gun turret or not. I definitely remember the laser turrets, though. I mean, I must have. I must have. I just can't remember.
Probably.
Yeah, there had to be some. But yeah, anyways, of course, after that, Lucy, just happened to stumble upon this strange scientist fellow, and which I just can't ever remember his name, and the dog.
Uh, the dog's 404, but what was his name? With something Zig.
Yeah,
Hilzig, Wilzig, something like that.
yeah, something like that, and a lot of suspicious stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Um, but then we get to the really interesting part of the episode,
Yeah.
which and interesting. Interesting to be a strange word to use because we're moving on to Maximus,
Max.
and yeah,
Your favorite.
and he, of course, the character that I found the least interesting thus far. Of course, so Maximus, he's assigned to be the squire to this Lord fellow,
Titus.
and yes, Titus, and they. So when they're in the helicopter there, Titus goes and throws his crotch plate or whatever at Maximus and says, "Clean it."
Yeah, it's clearly like a hazing thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Maximus, like the good little squire he is, he scrubs it clean and gives it back. And then Titus, he starts to bully Maximus a little bit, push him around and show him who the boss is, and then eventually they drop out of the helicopter because they're looking for the weird Enclave guy.
Yeah.
And they make it to that cave, and they have a very radiated bear. What were those called in Zion Valley? I mean, I don't know if there's the same type of bear. Yeah, yeah.
Which I guess you didn't really encounter many in New Vegas, did you?
No, only a couple, I think. Yeah, they weren't really a big deal. Anyways, of course, Titus, even though he's wearing his power armor, he's unable to handle Yaogua. And, he gets a little messed up. But what was really interesting is how absolutely useless Maximus was for the whole situation. Maximus had ample opportunity. I cannot stress it enough. He had ample opportunity to deal with the Yaogua. I know, I know he didn't really want to deal with it, but it doesn't matter. He did not even try until Titus was well worn out. He didn't even try. And then, of course, Titus, he's very injured, and he tells Maximus, give me a stim pack. Where were you? What were you doing? And, Maximus, just like a moody little bitch. And he said, I'm not going to use Stim Pack. And he just lets him die. I don't think Titus died on screen, if I remember correctly. It just sort of happened off screen. Then,
Yeah, it happened off screen.
yeah, and then Maximus, he steals the power armor. And so this gets clarified later on, but for the first while that he had that power armor, I was like, does he not need any training for this? Because I remember I needed that. Pretty much everybody needs to get training. But
yeah, you're right.
But then later on in the episode, he became more incompetent. It became clearer that he actually wasn't really competent to pilot and stuff.
Yeah.
For a while, it seemed like he could handle it okay. But anyways, Maximus, he got the armor, and he moved on. He found that little dilemma that was going on there in the wasteland or whatever.
Yeah.
Between those two people, and there was this very eccentric scientific fellow.
And, not the Enclave guy, different one.
Yes. And I guess the other guy was maybe a farmer or something like that. Anyways, he resolved that conflict, and then after the scientific gentleman was out of the picture, or as he's walking away, we found out that the scientific gentleman was doing weird things with that guy's chickens.
Experiments.
Yes, he was just doing scientific experiments with the chickens. Which, in the apocalypse, it's got to be ethical, right?
Maybe.
Trying to save mankind.
But now that we see Maximus is, okay with letting his master essentially die, do you think that might hint towards he might have been the one to sabotage his friend, since we see he's got a little bit of a dark side?
Well, I feel like, given the context, it made enough sense for Maximus to want to kill Titus, just because Titus was a bit of a meanie to him, and like Maximus seems like he's a little bit sensitive to meanies. He doesn't like to be bullied too much, I think.
Maybe, but he was bullied like for however long he's been there.
Yeah, that is true. We'll have to see, I guess. Maximus, I don't trust the guy. I'll tell you that much. I do not trust Maximus one bit.
You don't want him to be your companion?
No, absolutely not. I'd say I trust Arcade Gannon slightly more than I trust Maximus.
No, at least he'll give you a Stim Pack.
He gives me the better healing perk. That's something. That's more than what Maximus would give me. Maximus would just punch me in the face or something like that after a while, even if I didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, so after we're done with Maximus there for a while, we're back with Lucy, and she encounters this very strange diaper-wearing gentleman in the wasteland.
To be fair, it looked hot, so he was.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Cooler outfit.
Oh, I'm not judging him. If it were the apocalypse, I'd probably just go diaper mode as well. I don't see a problem with that. Lucy was just asking around for directions, and I feel bad for the poor old man, because he was sick, he was lonely, he was just he had no water really.
Well, he was putting sand in it.
Yeah, he's putting sand in it. But Lucy was so selfish and wouldn't just stay there with him for a couple years.
A couple years. She gave him her water,
and then he ferociously licked the bottle and they gave it back to her. And Lucy, was disgusted by that, but she should have thought it through a little bit more first. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand what it's like outside of the vault.
True. I have played Fallout 3, and I've had numerous homeless people steal my water, so I can relate a little bit.
So yeah, I guess really not all that much later. Lucy goes into town there and encounters that old hag.
Philly. What do you think of Philly?
Yeah, she was interested.
What do you think of the town?
The town, it was fairly, I guess, pretty. I thought it was a pretty average town by apocalypse standards. I did find better towns in New Vegas for sure. That one was. a lot of gross people in this one.
Well,
But
there's no Mr. House giving them infrastructure.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They don't have an economic and technological visionary to lift them out of poverty. Like,
So, what do you think of this? As you described her, hag?
well, at first I mean, pardon my French, I just kind of thought she was a bit of a bitch, but like, um, um, after a while, it only took, well, actually, this just sort of leads into the next big thing that happened here. Now there's a massive showdown in the town there, fighting over the bounty or whatever, I think,
Yeah,
because of course the ghouls showed up, and I gotta say that was an absolute. The whole scene was awesome, with the ghoul just absolutely annihilating everybody.
and they made it they what's the word I'm looking for? They made it clear that ghouls are not welcome in the town of Philly.
Yeah, a little bit of, I don't know if you call it segregation going on there, or maybe just straight up, racism. I don't
Pretty
know.
much, yeah.
Yeah, I'd just say it's just straight up, yeah, bigotry, quite frankly. But anyway, I, I, can you get like the ghouls pistol in any of the games and the ammunition for it? Because I never saw that in New Vegas. But
In I think they just recently added it in a creation club thing for 4.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Because like that's a very cool gun, and I like that. It's sort of got a little rocket. I don't know
yeah. I
if you
think it's
call it a
a
rocket.
gyrojet ammo.
Yeah,
It's
that's
got a
pretty
little
cool. I like
rocket
that.
in the casing.
Yeah.
Which in real life, I think that's how you pronounce it, gyrojet. I think that does like decay after a while or break down. So I'm not sure how they'd have it 200 years after, assumingly they stop production of it. So,
Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting.
but I mean,
So,
who knows? They might be making more.
yeah, absolutely. They got into a massive fight there, and
Yeah.
Maximus just happened to stumble his power armor wearing ass in the town.
Well, they were
Um,
headed there. He did mention that they were supposed to head to Philly. So,
oh, true, true. And they then he saved Lucy. It looks like maybe there might be a little bit of a romance dynamic happening there in the future. I mean, I feel like
between
Lucy could
who?
probably find Lucy and Maximus, perhaps. I mean, Maximus was just sort of gazing at her after he covered her from the ghoul's fire.
Yeah.
Uh,
That might not be what the internet wants. It seems like the internet is shipping the ghoul and Lucy.
okay, you know what? I think it's time to get a little sidetracked here and talk about my massive plot prediction for
Okay.
for
All
the
right.
series.
I've been waiting for this. Let's hear it.
As we know, the ghoul had a daughter,
Yeah.
in his past pre-apocalyptic life, and I think that as he forms a bond with Lucy, he's going to be viewing Lucy as sort of like a daughter-like figure to him, and that's how
Yeah.
they're going to start getting along. I
You think
think,
so?
yes, I think that that's what their relationship is going to be like by the end of the season, but. Maybe that doesn't sound like an absolutely massive prediction, but I think it is, quite frankly.
Interesting. We'll have to see how it goes.
I mean, of course, in episode 3, we saw the ghoul dunking her into the water to, fish up that gulper or whatever.
Yeah, you got to make a little movement in the water to attract them.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I don't understand why a ghoul wouldn't do that with somebody they view like a child anyway. Like, that's just ghoul stuff. That's how ghouls are.
What'd you think of the gulper?
I thought the gulper was pretty cool. I mean, it's like a massive axolotl thing, and it's got like
Yeah.
weird hands and stuff inside its mouth. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder
Interesting.
how it like came to be though. Like how many rads it had to be exposed to become that.
I have no idea.
Probably a lot. Anyways, back to episode 2. We saw the ghoul and the dog got involved in that fight, of course.
Yeah.
And at first I thought the ghoul killed the dog, and as I told you the night I watched the episode, I mean, I thought the ghoul was going to just straight up eat him. I thought the ghoul was hungry.
He's hungry.
But
He's just going to stop in the middle of the fight to eat a dog.
Well, I think if fighting was kind of calmed down a little bit at that point, if I remember correctly, like, Lucy and the scientist and the Enclave scientists were inside, and he was getting a new leg. He's getting a new leg transplanted. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it a transplant, but he's getting a new leg
It's kind of like
slash
peg
ankle.
leg.
Yeah, a little peg leg type of thing. Yeah. But then, the ghoul, out of the goodness of his heart, and mind you, I was very surprised considering he's a ghoul. He whipped out a stim pack or whatever, and he injected the dog in it. And ever since then, the dog became his.
Yeah, that's how it works. You get perk points whenever you give a companion a stim pack.
Oh, well, guess what? I never gave a single companion of mine a stim pack the entire time I played New Vegas. I'm never giving anybody a stim pack because I need those things. I don't have enough stim packs to go around sharing. Unlike Arcade Gannon, who never gave me one in the first place. A piece of shit. There were so many times I could have been like, Arcade, I need a stim pack. Nope, never, not once. I literally helped that guy reconnect with his old friends, and you know what he did in the ending? He fucking left.
I think you told him to leave, though, didn't you?
No, and I think in the ending, I told him to go fight, but I didn't mean like go be a little wimp and run away from Mr. House. No, the whole point was help Mr. House to stop the new commie republic and the Legionoids. Like,
But
anyway, so
we ended the episode at the crash satellite. Do you remember what happened there?
well, of course, I remember. Lucy. The scientist took a cyanide pill, and Lucy and told
The
Lucy,
Vault-Tec branded cyanide pill.
yeah, that's right. That's right. It was Vault-Tec
What they
branded.
say it was
And
Vault-Tec Plan C, something like that.
maybe
Plan
D or something like that. I can't remember, but
It was
yeah.
a pretty close plan.
Yeah, it's a relatively close plan considering it's a nuclear apocalypse. But anyway, Lucy, had to cut his head off
Yeah,
and take it. And of course, that leads us right into the next episode, actually.
yeah, where
So
we discussed the ghoul hunting.
yes, so
Or fishing,
the
I guess.
episode, of course, the episode actually starts off with a flashback to the ghouls, past life before the apocalypse. Doing an advertisement for Vault-Tec. His wife, I guess it was a worker at Vault-Tec. At least that's what I thought. And she was asking him to do an advertisement for Vault-Tec. And anyways, an interesting point I captured, and you might not be surprised that I caught on to this, is that one of the writers for one of his films was actually exiled or imprisoned for being a communist. Because that scene where Howard was filming whatever Western film they were working on, what would you say, they went cut. They were taking a little break, and in passing they mentioned that writer that he was well acquainted with, he was a communist and he had to go. He was he embodied anti-American values. So, and it's time for these Western films to become a little bit more individualistic, a little bit more American. Anyway, so that led into the Vault-Tec ad, which was interesting. We're getting a little bit of a perhaps little hint at what his relationship might have been like with these Vault-Tec individuals.
Yeah, he seemed to be like a spokesperson.
Yes, indeed. And he did his signature thumbs up, which was very cool considering it's Walton Goggins and all.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to present times. Maximus, he's in that town.
Philly.
Yes, Philly, and he encounters a few ruffians,
Scavengers.
and scavengers, and they kind of beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And sort of take his armor from him for a while.
But to be fair, he was used to that.
Yes, absolutely. And for a while I was pretty happy. It's like, yeah, Maximus is getting what he deserves. This guy's he's just a jerk. He's just a jerk. But anyways, Maximus got lucky and had a bit of plot armor, and he found this pipe and was able to beat up the other guys. And a toilet seat. Yes, that's right. I can't forget about that. And but that there's a bit of trouble. The Brotherhood of Steel
Yeah.
knows where he is. So
Yeah.
he has a little chat with over the radio with the Brotherhood of Steel, and he has to put on Titus's voice to the best of his ability. He tries to, and he ends up crushing the radio because he gets a little frustrated. But they send him a squire,
Yeah.
and of course that squire, his name was Thaddeus, I believe.
Thaddeus, yeah, who was the person that was bullying him back at camp.
Yes. Okay, that's good. I didn't remember that when I watched it, unfortunately.
There were a bunch of them, but he was one of them.
All right, that actually makes Maximus more justified than I thought, because I wrote in my notes here about what a dick Maximus was being.
He was being a bit of a dick.
Because he did the same thing. He took his crotch plate off and told Thaddeus to wipe it and all that stuff, and was scaring him out. And
he is also trying to stay in character, so to speak.
Yes, he is.
But I think he's getting a little satisfaction from it.
Yes, I guess Maximus was more justified in this than what I thought, and I'll give him that, because I forgot all about Thaddeus, to be honest. Like when I was seeing the Brotherhood of Steel encampment there or whatever, all those, I just viewed each and every single one of those people as goons, that I didn't assign them any names or anything like that, or remember their faces. They were just goons doing goon stuff. So,
but we also got the revelation that, I guess he could have been lying to intimidate him. The original Knight Titus, when he said that they string them up by their lungs and let them die to the vultures. Which most squires you encounter in the game are like children, so I don't know how accurate that is. But he could have been, he could have just had low speech skill and didn't mean to speech check, so.
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. The speech stat is like perhaps the most fundamental and important stat.
Indeed.
At least that was the case in New Vegas. It definitely got me out of a few pickles. So of course, but back with Lucy, it turns out that the ghoul was able to track her, which makes sense. I mean, it could be fairly simple for the ghoul.
Yeah.
Considering there's literally tracks in the sand and all that. And he literally had the dog there to help him. I mean, I don't know who used the German Shepherd.
I guess the dog was trying to return to the scientist.
Oh, okay. I thought what I assumed is after the ghoul injected it with a stim pack, the dog just sort of became loyal to him and was just doing what he wanted. But yeah, that makes more sense.
I think there's a little bit of a hint towards that, but I think it's implied that the dog was tracking the scientist's scent, and he was just following the dog.
He was just like, I don't know, like a little bit neurodivergent or something like that, and was just kind of like doing its thing, just kind of has a little bit of attachment issues or something like that.
Maybe.
But anyways, they're at that I guess lake or whatever, where we meet the Gulper. But of course, Lucy was being an idiot and was petting Bambi or whatever and giving it some grass. And then the Gulper comes out and scares her, and the head, gets the head, grabs the head out of her, grabs the bag or whatever. And and of course the ghoul showed up. The ghoul's like, "Where's the head?" And she's like, I don't know. I lost it. And I don't think the ghoul was very convinced by that at first, but I think eventually he came around to that. And, of course, I think he saw the Gulper's feces or something, actually. And he's like, okay. So, he's like, the Gulper got it, didn't he? And So what happened is, as we saw, Lucy became Gulper bait.
Yeah.
And strung up and down in the water. They used to do something called, I think it was called dunking back in the day, where they take potential witches, and so if if the woman wasn't a witch, then she'd drown to death. But if she was a witch, then she wouldn't drown to death. So they'd have to take her out of the water and dispose of her some other way. That's a very random historical fact, but that's not really relevant. But I think there's a parallel here. I think
there's a parallel.
There's a deep theme maybe being explored here about what it means to be about womanhood and stuff like that, perhaps, and how in the apocalypse, there's parallels to medieval times. Anyways, that's not really important. The important thing is that
But she ended up not drowning, so does that mean she's a witch?
Yeah, I mean, we do know that the actress is English or whatever, so yes.
Well, in England, I think they just straight up burned them, didn't they? Or was that continental
I
Europe?
think it's both. I think it's a little healthy mixture of both.
They just drowned them and burned them.
Well, if they survive the drowning, then you burn them, right? I mean,
I guess so.
If water isn't going to do it, the consuming element will.
And here in America, I think we just hanged them.
Well, you got to be a little bit pragmatic. I mean, America's always been a little bit about being pragmatic.
Except for the, who was it, Giles Corey, we just crushed with rocks.
Oh, probably. So yeah, eventually, that kind of got messed up, and the ghoul and Lucy almost died. But yeah, that just sort of was what it was. And of course, later on, we know. Well, I guess that actually happens a little later on in the episode. So I think what happened next is we ended up in Vault 33 again, and we have the two overseers. Yes. Unfortunately, I can't remember either of their names, but there's the fat one with glasses. Who's right? I think that guy is getting a little bit too much of the Vault's food rations, to say.
He's getting a little too much rations.
Yeah, a little bit too much, considering that there's got to be a fairly limited supply of food down there, I imagine. Wait, sorry, was it clarified? Do they grow their own food, or is that just supply?
I think they do. I think they are growing it somehow, because
that'd be the only thing that makes sense, because their population's too high to sustain just canned goy slop or whatever.
I mean, they do just get did just get a whole surplus of bodies.
Yes, and that's going to lead us into a very important dilemma that's explored here. So we're in the vault, and these overseers are having a speech, and it's about what are we going to do with these prisoners? And of course, being I don't know what to call them actually, other than just pathetic weaklings. They say, "Oh, we're going to rehabilitate them," and everyone's like, "Yeah!" And everybody's just clapping for that, aside from Pipsqueak, who's his brother. I actually have not memorized his name yet either. I should be taking notes of the characters' names.
I'll be honest, I don't think I remember his name either.
Yeah, you see, that's just, I don't like him. I don't like the guy. I'm not going to like the guy. But he did have I'd say the actual, not only just the moral solution, but also the pragmatic solution. It's just kill him or starve them, something like that. Get rid of them.
Well, what would be the most ethical way to do that? Because I don't know if starving them would be the ethical thing.
I mean, they forfeited their right to life the moment they went in the, invaded the vault, and actually the moment they invaded Vault 32 and started killing those people.
Yeah, true.
Which I believe is confirmed.
I mean, the overseer. What was his name? Her dad. I want to think Hank. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Hank. He just drowned the one guy in the pickle jar.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's a very Vault 33 way of dealing with somebody, I feel.
Drowning people in pickle jars? Well, apparently the Vault 33 way is to rehabilitate them.
Well, yeah, that is right. And actually, one of the I think it was an old woman in Vault 33 proposed that she was going to teach those savages ethical systems like Immanuel Kant and John Stuart Mills. Of course, I don't think that anybody was, and some of them proposed to teach them mathematics and stuff like that. And it's like, what I don't know exactly what these vault dwellers are thinking, but I don't think they got a very good look at these savages. These raiders. I don't think any. I think most of that stuff's gonna fly right over their heads if they even listen in the first place. I mean, we saw one of these raiders like fling food at the wall or the window or whatever.
Yeah,
Like savages.
they're clearly got a low intelligence on the special stat.
Yeah. You and those special probably pretty low. It seems like Pipsqueak and Stephanie might be teaming up, and maybe I don't know. There might be a bit of tension brewing in Vault 33. I mean, oh yes, we learned that the water chip is broken, and they only have enough water to last them for 2 months. So that's going to also play into this moral dilemma.
And he said that's not accounting the prisoners.
Yeah. Oh, that is right. It's not even. So yeah, they're going to have to do away with them.
Yeah, your your overseer guy is going to have to cut back on some rations. That might
Yes, I'd say
that might change his tune about what to do with the prisoners pretty quick.
I'd say so. I mean, Vault 33, it's supposed to be a meritocracy, right? But I don't see how that guy is the overseer. I mean, he's clearly doing a lot less work and a lot more eating.
But what do you think of the other two kind of people seeming to take the authority in Vault 33?
Well, there's the older woman there that was also there. The older, I can't remember her
I think her
name.
name's Betty.
Yeah, and she seems to be a little bit more commonsensical than Fatty. And I don't remember the other guy's name either.
He's kind of just like the fat guy. He's just not fat.
Yeah, he's just the same thing, but not fat, and has a different haircut. I mean, they all wear the same outfits, so
Yeah.
there's only so many traits to identify them by. Okay. Um. So yeah, I mean, I think personally, I think Vault 33 is just kind of doomed at this point. But
You don't think there's no saving it?
well, maybe Lucy and the Ghoul will come back at some point, and somehow they'll fix things. But I kind of have my doubts. I kind of have my doubts. I mean,
Well,
we'll see. Maybe
what do you think what do you think the end game for Vault 33 will be? Because we know Lucy's going after her dad, so unless she finds her dad, she's probably not returning anytime soon.
Well, I guess this requires me to make a bit of a prediction as to what's going to happen because we know in season 2, I mean, she's going to be going to New Vegas. So it's possible maybe her dad does die and she just doesn't even bother going back, which I kind of doubt. So I'm gonna make the assumption that her dad's probably going to be alive and she'll probably bring him back, and that she'll have some sort of other reason or goal to pursue, and that'll keep her, being a surface dweller, or um, maybe she'll have so many rads by the time she gets back they won't want her in the vault.
That's interesting. Now,
Actually,
keep going. Sorry.
oh yeah, just a very short point. I was thinking after she was being dunked in that water so much, her rad count must have really gone up.
She might have some rat away.
I hope so, because that water is probably just filled to the brim of rad.
Yeah.
What were you going to say a minute ago?
Oh, that seems to be a trend whenever you, in the Fallout franchise, whenever you help a vault, they reward you by kicking you out. That's a thing in the very first Fallout, which, ironically, the plotline is finding another water chip for the vault. Like, you go through the whole game, you finally get one, get at the end, and they're like, yeah, you got to leave.
Huh, very interesting. That's kind of messed up. But honestly, I mean, a lot of vault dwellers just don't, they're just weirdos.
Which I actually believe I think it was sort of patched out, but whenever Fallout 1 first came out, there was like a internal timer that you had to get the water chip within a certain time.
Interesting. Now,
I believe so. I'd have to look that up to verify it.
who do you think your favorite Vault 33 dweller is? Aside from like Lucy.
Like that's currently in the vault, right? So her dad,
Yeah,
Lucy, doesn't count.
yeah, I'd say so.
I don't dislike the brother as much as you do, but I don't know if I'd necessarily pick him.
I don't think I could pick old bastard.
Like the only three that would be a contender is, what'd you say her name was? Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie.
Stephanie, the brother, and I guess the cousin. Didn't they say that was Lucy's cousin?
Yeah. I'm gonna make a prediction and assume that Stephanie might go insane at some point. I don't know. There's just something about
Insane?
her personality that. Yeah, I think she might go a little cuckoo at some point, but I don't know. I don't know how much they're gonna explore Stephanie's character. It just seems like she's a little off.
You think that fork might have nicked one of her cortexes?
No, honestly, she seemed a little bit off beforehand too, but I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you know how white women are. They just sort of do that stuff, especially once they hit a certain age. And I don't think she's anywhere near that. But I mean, it's gonna be rough. Vault life's just gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not survive in the vault. I don't think.
You don't think? You don't think even one
No.
was somewhat decent, like 33?
Yeah, I think so because, like, I mean, they're in the, I mean, you can hardly even reproduce in there. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. What is it? The bottleneck thing? Whenever, like, society with less than a certain amount of people's going to eventually collapse.
Yeah, like you got to have a certain birth rate to keep that thing sustainable, and unfortunately,
Well, they usually they do trade with the other vaults we saw.
yes, but not very successfully this time.
Yeah.
Their population numbers dwindled quite significantly, and yeah, yeah. I mean, when your option, like you look at your options for who you have to. If you're a woman, and you look at your options where you have to reproduce. You have the big fat overseer dude with the glasses. Like, I mean, come on. Even if you're able to reproduce, it's still doomed because the gene pool is going to be so weak in that vault. It's just they're going to succumb to disease and die or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think vaults that had like designated breeders, as they called them in episode 1, would have a slightly better genetics.
I can't think of a single person, or at least a single male in Vault 33 who would be considered an actual designated breeder.
Maybe the cousin. He seemed pretty fit. If we're going on looks alone.
He was a little bit more normal looking than Pipsqueak.
He was tall.
Yeah,
had a decent frame on him.
Yeah, the only weird thing about him, it's not weird by Vault 33 standards, but his relationship with Lucy was just a little tall.
I mean, the overseer, he seemed, like her dad, Hank.
Yeah, but he's getting up there in years. He's only got so much breathing left in him.
Well, you don't? All right, so you obviously think the brother's Pipsqueak. So what's your theory for how his character is going to progress in the season?
Okay, so I said Stephanie might be going cuckoo.
Yeah.
Again, I honestly might not be surprised if Pipsqueak goes a little cuckoo as well. He has a bit of a violent streak in him. He's really
he obviously wants to kill all the Raiders.
Yes, and I mean, again, I don't disagree with that, but it seems like he's coming from a very emotionalist standpoint.
Yeah, definitely.
very emotionally invested in this. Like, they took my daddy away. Like, shut up, crybaby. Anyways, that doesn't matter. He's just a crybaby. Pipsky. And they
So
kill some of his friends.
he kills who?
They killed of course the Raiders probably killed some of his friends, or maybe some of the people who like to stalk around the vault. I mean, that little guy. I mean, come on, he can fit in almost any place he wants because he's tall. He's definitely going around stalking people in the vault. There's no
True.
way.
Because
He's a creep.
he doesn't seem like the kid that's going to have much friends.
Oh yeah, episode 1. I immediately lost any potentiality of having any respect for that little pipsqueak because Lucy had to save him. Like from the Raider, like he was such a little wimp. He's just hiding under a table, too scared to do anything when everybody else is fighting. When men and women were both fighting, but he was just a little weakling and couldn't do anything. Lucy had to save him. I don't respect him, and I don't think he can win my respect, to be honest.
So you think his the end result is going to be pretty much everyone involved 33 going cuckoo? You think Stephanie?
So with I mean, for example, maybe he'll concoct a little murder plot to kill the other 2 overseers, and so he can take over.
You think he's going to take over?
You might go, you might go a little loony. You might, he has a little bit of a murderous streak. He might want to take over the vault and rule it in his way. Now, I'm not saying he has the capacity to do that, but he might try.
Well, we'll have to.
Stephanie who agrees.
So you think Stephanie's going to be his right hand, so to speak, the one doing all the heavy lifting?
One way or the other. Maybe he'll be a little bitch or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I just can't see him in much. I mean, I know I just said he might become the dictator of Vault 33, but at the same time, it's hard to envision him in actual leadership.
Okay, so we got the brother in Vault 33 becoming the dictator of Vault 33. We have the Ghoul and Lucy who are going to, you think, develop a father-daughter thing. So what do you think is going to be the end of season story for Maximus and Thaddeus?
Oh well, maybe they'll enter into a relationship with each other or something like that.
Like friendship or like a confirmed bachelor park?
Yeah, confirmed bachelor park. Okay, no, honestly, I'm kind of interested to see what happens. Like, if Maximus, he'll be caught, and like, if Thaddeus will maybe hide his secret from the Brotherhood of Steel or not. Maybe Thaddeus will also run away from the Brotherhood of Steel. I don't know. I feel like Maximus. Yeah, honestly, because I feel like Maximus' idea of taking the head back to the Brotherhood of Steel is probably not going to work.
You don't think they'd accept it?
No, I mean, considering that he left Titus to die, I mean, honestly, I don't really. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not. I would never side with the Brotherhood of Steel under any circumstance. So I can't comment on their customs and traditions, but to me, it seems like they wouldn't like that.
So you think they're good? So that's your prediction for them? They become outcasts, so to speak.
Yeah. Maybe not Thaddeus. Like Thaddeus might betray Maximus. I don't know yet. It all sort of depends on how that unfolds. But I think Maximus is definitely over there.
Did you get it's been so long since I've seen it. Was there and then I don't usually watch to the end, like the after credits. Did they give a tease for the next episode or no?
No, actually, I don't think there was.
It was just at the first episode they probably did, like, here's what to expect this season.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
So do you think for the very next episode?
I do think we're probably going to get more flashbacks with Howard and the Voltec stuff situation. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Maximus. If he's in possession of the head now. I think after all that, I mean, he's lucky to have that power armor.
Yeah.
enables him to do a lot of things perhaps even the Ghoul can't do. It'd be interesting if the Ghoul.
Edge.
Be interesting if the Ghoul got his hands on his own power armor that could feed him temps whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to see the Ghoul take chems in episode 2.
Sorry, what was that?
We got to actually see the Ghoul take some chems in episode 2.
In episode 2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, those chems look kind of tasty. I wouldn't mind becoming a Ghoul if it meant that I could take chems all the time.
Well, you could do that in the real world and it not even have to become a Ghoul.
Well, you know what? If I started doing that in the real world, then I probably wouldn't be suitable to co-host the podcast. I'd probably be living on the street upside down against the wall somewhere.
But hey, then you could talk to everyone who passes by about your philosophy, and then you could be like a street prophet.
Yeah, well, there was Diogenes the Cynic, and his whole thing was, he's being a weirdo and being gross and stuff publicly. Yeah, he pointed at people with his middle finger, and he grew out a really nasty long beard. He's kind of just going to goblin mode, and I could live that life. I wouldn't mind that. I'm putting society's arbitrary social norms in place. I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of that.
There's actually a character in New Vegas and Freeside. He, if you talk to him regularly, all he does is like incoherent mumbles. But if you have I think intelligence of 1 in your special stats, like you could talk to him and he's like this super intelligent. Like he's got like, I think he's even got like a British accent when you talk to him.
Interesting. A lot of interesting characters in New Vegas, for sure.
Yeah, like I've never actually set my intelligence to 1, but apparently it's got some interesting dialogue.
That sounds very interesting.
In fact, in Fallout 3, if you have an intelligence of 1, there's like an old abandoned high school you could go into, and that's got like the Protectron hall monitor. And if he finds out you got a low intelligence, he escorts you to the special ed class.
I don't think there's ever been a better representation of school in a video game than what we saw in Old World Blues in Fallout New Vegas, actually.
What was that?
It was a representation of a school in a video game than what we saw in Fallout New Vegas and Old World Blues.
Yeah. Well, my private school was pretty much like that.
I mean, listen, you're getting a very solid American education against communism, and I think that's.
I had a whole class that the entire course was it was don't be gay, don't join a cult, and don't be a communist.
I mean, what's wrong with any of that? We might be seeing Maximus and Claudius being gay in this season. We could be seeing it. I don't know. It's possible.
So what you're saying is that's your theory?
It's a theory. It's just one of many potential things that could happen. I don't know. We have no evidence that Maximus likes women, so I mean.
That's true.
Okay. I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit because I said, he might be romantically attracted to Lucy earlier. But listen, it doesn't matter if I contradict myself a little bit because everything's just a theory at this point.
Well, yeah, in the apocalypse, you got to take what you can get, so you can't choose to play one team exclusively.
If I were living in the apocalypse, I would just be gone. I mean, there's no choice. I'd probably just go with the Ghoul because he's so awesome.
True.
When your options are that old hag, for example. I think the Ghoul's better than that. And I don't think there's anything weird about saying that either. You know what I mean? It's Walton Goggins. But anyway, so yes, I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next few episodes. Hopefully I'll be able to continue watching it tomorrow.
Sorry, keep talking.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to continue watching it tomorrow. I should definitely be able to fit in at least one episode, and I look forward to maybe seeing Mr. House in a flashback at some point. I'd really like to see get a little bit of Mr. House action going on. I don't know exactly what his relationship with how he'll fit into that. I don't know if it'll be one of those Vault-Tec flashbacks or if it'll be something kind of unrelated or not. I really don't know. I hope the ghoul doesn't have any bad memories of Mr. House, because certainly he would be misremembering things. Mr. House would never do something bad. I know for a fact Mr. House would never do anything bad or immoral. I mean, that's why if you kill him in New Vegas, you get karma, you lose karma or whatever. I mean, because he's a good guy. But if you kill President Kimball, if you kill Kaiser, you don't lose karma, because Mr. House is a beacon just a beacon of morality in a really immoral, nihilistic, disgusting world, and that's why he's the right choice for Hoover Dam. The moment I stepped foot in the Lucky 38, I knew that Mr. House was the man that was supposed to rule over New Vegas and rule over Hoover Dam, rule over the entire Mojave. There was no question in my mind. In fact, I'd say I don't even. The moment that I found out that he didn't like taxes, I just knew that this man was, one of the greatest fictional characters of all time. I mean, just a number of weeks ago, I spent a very significant amount of time arguing about with probably 10 or more people about whether taxation was theft or not, and I destroyed every single one of them and their silly little social contract imaginary fantasy land. But anyway, that's not really related to Fallout. It's just that Mr. House is awesome, so he doesn't like taxes and that.
You said probably tomorrow you'll get into the next one.
Yes, I hope so. Hopefully, I'll have some time.
All right, then we pretty much covered both of them.
Yes, I like how our episode pretty much just evolved into Vault 33 fan fiction.
Well, we predict. Well, we listen to your predictions for pretty much every character, so.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, we even have Stephanie predictions here and stuff like that. So that's a pretty in-depth analysis of the episodes, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll have to see how close you are to the mark.
Yes, I mean, I feel like for most people that would have done reviews of these episodes, they wouldn't have these deep higher order predictions for each character. I don't just present one theory for each character. I presented multiple theories for multiple characters. I'm not covering all the bases here.
Yeah.
Another pretty possible prediction, and I don't think it's possible. Imagine if Pipsqueak and Stephanie enter into a romantic relationship and start to repopulate the ball. Like, that could happen.
It's possible. Would that boost the brothers' standing in your book at all?
No, that would actually just lower Stephanie's standing, to be honest. I don't think Pipsqueak's worthy of mating with her or really anybody else in the fucking vault, and that's saying a lot, to be honest. Anyway. Maybe one of those old ladies is on it, only. Needs a little help in there.
Next one tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully so.
All right. All right, so that's pretty much it then, right?
Yeah, that was a great discussion.
Indeed.
Lots covered.
Yeah. All right. I'll try to get this done sometime tonight, maybe.
Awesome.
All right. So I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, see ya.
You still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So episode, 2 and 3?
Yes, 2 and 3.